Hello, welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Hope you are having a lovely day and evening, and welcome. So happy to see you here. And let's see, it's 7:34 right now here on the East Coast, and that is the exact moment of sunset. So the sun is setting, and opposite the sun is setting right now in Virgo, directly across and so right now we have Aries rising on the horizon, and let's start with a sound and a few breaths, and we'll listen to the sound bowl, and then we'll talk a bit more about what's happening in the sky, and then maybe we'll pull some tarot cards. So, I said the sun is directly across, but the sun is actually now below the horizon. And so you have Aries in position 1 in house 1, and the sun is now already in the lower quadrant, but the sun, I just noticed, is directly across from Neptune, which is in Pisces right now. So Neptune is a planet of dreams and intuition and space and inspiration, and that's very much the same values as Pisces. So since that's directly across from where the sun is right now, if you're feeling any of those things, maybe that could be contributing to it. I'm feeling a bit of that dreamy quality right now. And I also noticed that we have a lot of planets in retrograde right now, and you might already know this, but the planets, they move in the same direction, except occasionally they start to move backwards. But it only looks like that. They're not really moving backwards. It's just sort of a trick of angles. But it does still have an influence for us from our perspective. And so right now, the only planets that aren't moving retrograde are the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. And so I think that's it. So everything else, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Chiron, the nodes, everything else is retrograde. So I thought it would be interesting to just look at maybe how Jupiter is calling for a bit of attention right now. And we have Jupiter is with a few other planets in Capricorn. They're all getting ready to move into Aquarius soon, which is part of our journey from the age of, Capricorn into the age of Aquarius, and in certain ways. And so we have, since we have Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter is a sign of courage and enthusiasm. Jupiter is really optimistic, brave, confident, and that's happening right now in Capricorn, which is also very confident and hardworking, and Capricorn tends to be able to realize visions and ideas. And so the fact that those are together, and those are at a trine with the sun, which is a powerful angle, it seems like something to embrace right now, just the confidence and excitement about projects and about work, because Jupiter is going direct, where all the other planets retrogrades most people talk about Mercury retrograde, how because Mercury rules communication, and so during Mercury retrograde, things might have glitches in terms of phones or devices, or we might say things not exactly the way we mean, or there might be miscommunications. But with the other planets, we have Mars right now retrograde in Aries, and so the values of Aries and Mars might be, so when it comes to assertiveness, conflict, impulses, it tends to bring a more introspective feeling to those things. So maybe thinking out things a little bit more before asserting them. But with that aside, the retrogrades aside, now is beautiful that we have this attention with Jupiter. And Jupiter, with that confidence, it's associated with, so different planets are associated with different ages, and Jupiter is associated with the age 50 and with that decade of life. So if you think about like the power and the confidence and the clarity of that sort of age, how that is right now shining forth for us to tap into and enjoy. And then we still have the moon in Leo with Venus, and Sun in Virgo, and the new moon coming up in a couple of days. So with that said, let's pull some cards. And if you have anything you'd like to have a card for, please put it there in the comments. So I'll shuffle and we'll take a few breaths together. Oh, and as I was just breathing right now, I was reminded of something else I wanted to say, which is that we have that Jupiter in Capricorn at an angle with the Sun in Virgo, and Virgo also in our sign, like Capricorn, very much about projects and planning and honing things and working on passion projects, and the fact that that is at an angle with Jupiter in Capricorn, that makes me think, okay, like how can I apply the values of the Sun in Virgo and the sense of organization and the love of honing a craft just for the sake of doing it, bring that into the new moon and the things I want to focus on for this next moon cycle. So applying the organization and the passion of Virgo, the Sun in Virgo, and then applying the confidence and optimism and clarity of purpose of the Jupiter and Capricorn. Those together are extremely strong. So now is a great time to make things happen. Okay. Let's look at the cards. Anyone have a question or topic they would like a card pulled for tonight? Jump in anytime. Okay, let's pull 3. We have here the Eight of Swords. So if you see, there's a figure and she is wrapped up in something that's keeping her arms down, holding her arms down, and then there are these swords stuck in the ground around her, and she's standing on this watery ground. And as we've been talking about, the swords are the suite of air and thought, ideas. And one thing that I always think about with this card is she could very easily remove herself from this bound situation that she's in. It's like this it's not tightly wrapped, it's a loosely wrapped cloth, but she's surrounded by these swords, and it seems like she's sort of wrapped up in thought, and there's no threat here because, as we can see, she's on her own and the swords are tucked into the ground. So when I see this, I think it's always an invitation to shake off thoughts that are keeping me from motion. So if there's anything like holding me back from doing something, what are those thoughts? And she has her toe in the stream on the ground, so she's got a little bit of connection to the water and the life source and the emotion, and so it could be an invitation to connect more to emotion and to let go of any thoughts. And like we were talking about Jupiter in Capricorn and the excitement and the enthusiasm and the power to accomplish things. If there's any thoughts like, oh, I'm not ready, or I want it to be perfect, or something like that, those might be, oh, hey, welcome, good to see you. We're doing some tarot cards here, and we were just talking about how the Eight of Swords might be a great invitation to touch in more with emotion and to let go of any thoughts that might be keeping us from enjoying the confidence of being able to do the things that we want to do. So that's the first card. And here's the second card. The Two of Wands. So there's a person here holding a globe, and they're standing somewhere high up looking over a beautiful landscape where there's a lush green land and hills, and there's mountains and a big body of water. And the wands are fire, and so it's passion and action, and this is a card of beginnings and stepping into something. So kind of like we were talking about, this might be, if this is a place of feeling a little bit stuck and caught in thought, then once letting go of that happens, then we could be standing with the world at our feet and the fire of action. Okay, what's our third card tonight? The King of Pentacles. And by the way, if you're just joining us and you have something you'd like a card pulled for, we could definitely do that for you. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is I think, yeah, yesterday we had the Queen of Pentacles, so that's a great series to have for Virgo. So the King of Pentacles is very similar to the Queen of Pentacles, seated on a throne, and there is lush, abundant earth all around. There's vines and fruits. What's a little bit different with the King of Pentacles is that there's this castle in the background. So you have the natural abundance of nature and earth, and then you also have the way that humans, that we shape our homes and our structures out of the earth, and you have this castle. So it's nature, and it's also architecture and the things that we build and create. And the King of Pentacles has the best of both worlds, in touch with nature, seated on a throne covered in leaves, and then in the background you have this luxurious, safe, beautiful, spacious place to go inside to and to have shelter in. And so I think if we look at this series, we can see how, because we do have Mercury in retrograde right now, and so this might be related to that, some slowness or lack of ease in communication, even if it's ourselves with our thoughts. But then by noticing that and making a choice to let go of that, to have this fire come in of the possibility of having the world at your feet, and the energy to move and to step into that and to explore. And then that exploration leads to what we have here, which is this beautiful earthly achievement. And very much this card is in line with Jupiter and Capricorn that we were talking about before. So see a nice little journey here, and let go of the thoughts of self-doubt. Embrace the fire of taking steps, and be prepared to experience the beauty and luxury that you dream of, because it's all possible. So anyone want a card pulled for something else? Okay. Before signing off, let's pull one more card. And this last card, just going to pull it as a way to transition into the evening and to relaxation and to a sense of peacefulness. So let's pick a card for that. The Four of Pentacles. So a little bit more earth here, that we have more abundance, more stability, and this is sort of like very similar to the King of Pentacles here. You have a figure with a lot of homes in the background, and they're firmly seated with their Four Pentacles. So I think this says something about being grounded, touching into the earth, feeling your feet on the ground, and enjoying what you have, and knowing that there's enough. So here we have it. Okay, let's play the bowl and enjoy the sound. We'll chant one Om together, and then we will say goodnight. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your evening.